looking for property to buy in Denver?
It's absolutely not ridiculous at all.
This parking spot could be yours. Seriously, a parking spot. An agent makes the pitch. A warning about parents who order Uber and Lyft rides for their kids at school.
I've stopped picking up teenagers.
Maybe you'll learn something. And what happens when slackliners get married? They tie the knot.
Flip the wedding culture on its head by doing this.
Okay, sorry for the bad joke. Another joke. People who believe the earth is flat. You had much to say about these guys. We've got a rebuttal. Next. Seems like Colorado just won the lottery. $5 million as part of a massive national settlement with the embattled maker of the EpiPen. But here at Next, we just don't rely on press release headlines. Investigative reporter Chris Vanderveen says there's a lot more to this story. He's been following this one for more than a year now.
The EpiPen. You remember it, right?
You raised the price. What did you think was going to happen?
Seems as if the maker of the EpiPen, Mylan, recently said, okay, federal government, we'll pay you $465 million to settle a case. Seems like a lot, right? But pardon us here at Next if we just do a slow clap for now. Why? Well, consider this. For more than a decade, Mylan considered its EpiPen a generic drug. Sounds innocent, right? Well, maybe not. Because of Medicaid rebates, generic drug manufacturers must, by law, give a 13% rebate to the feds for every EpiPen purchased by a Medicaid patient. Here's the rub. Brand name manufacturers must offer a much larger rebate, not 13%, but 23%. And a few months ago, the federal government in this report said by improperly calling the EpiPen a generic when it was really a brand name, it underpaid taxpayers to the tune of $1.27 billion. Yep, $1.27 billion with a B. You don't need a degree in mathematics to know that's a heck of a lot more than $465 million. Yet that's what the feds settled upon. Colorado's share, $5.5 million, of which $2.2 million has to go back to the feds because of how Medicaid works, leaving Colorado with $3.3 million in some change. So yeah, we'll offer a round of applause. But in this case, we're only willing to go so far. For Next, this is the now GIF-friendly Chris Vanderveen.
Well done, Chris. Well done. Mylan's settlement with the feds also includes a provision where the company admits to no wrongdoing. Colorado will put this cash back into its Medicaid program. Let's put Hurricane Harvey into perspective. Officials estimate Houston will receive up to 50 inches of rain. Back in 2013, a third of that amount washed out homes and roads in Colorado. We spoke to survivors of our state's historic floods today. They told us their hearts are with those affected in Texas. They know from experience that recovering from a disaster can be very slow. Some residents in Lyons are still displaced 4 years later.
We see stuff on TV and we think, oh, it's going to be okay in a few days. We were out of our house for over 3 years. I'm praying for them and I'm thinking about them and sending them love.
Governor John Hickenlooper has cleared the use of the Colorado National Guard to help people in Texas. They're going after Texas asked for help. We want to say thank you. Thank you to the police officers, to the firefighters, the search and rescue teams and volunteers, to strangers who are helping strangers. Thank you for working nonstop to help people in Texas. A big thanks for braving the waters and the dangers that come with a natural disaster.
Hold on.
This piece that our coworkers put together will make you feel better about humanity. Trust me, they're spending their time making sure their fellow Texans are safe. Strangers who need help while their homes are flooding, and other strangers willing to step up. We have the rest of this story on 9news.com if you're interested in seeing more of that coverage. Just to update all of you who watched Next yesterday, too, 9 News reporter Noel Brennan and photographer Adam Vance are still down in Houston helping out our sister station KHOU. They've been doing flood coverage all day today, and we're still helping KHOU stay on the air here in Denver. Their feed is going through our control room after their station flooded. You've heard threats that cities like Denver could lose federal funding if they don't work with immigration agents. If that happens here, city officials say the amount Denver would lose is just under $1 million. That's a tiny sliver of the city's $2.2 billion budget, about 0.04%, just under $1 million. They expect it wouldn't be all federal funding, just a specific grant from the Justice Department. So we'll see if that happens. Being a parent can be busy, trying to get your kid back to school and back to home. This week we got a message from a Next viewer, Michelle, who says, don't send your kids on Uber and Lyft. Michelle is an Uber and Lyft driver. She says at a recent Uber driver meeting, she was warned not to take kids to and from school. She wanted to share that reminder with you. A lot of parents are apparently doing this. Michelle tells us she gets 1 or 2 requests a day to take students to or from school. The requests come in from parents and then their kid walks up to the car instead. Both Uber and Lyft don't allow minors to ride in their cars alone. Michelle says she understands why parents would want to do it. She used to be a single mom, but she says she has no choice but to turn down the rides.
I've stopped picking up teenagers when I show up. I ask their age, and if they're under 18, I advise them to tell their parent.
Drivers are allowed to cancel those rides without penalty, and if they report the parent, there's a chance that parents' Uber or Lyft accounts could be suspended. Uber told us they're working on a service for teens. They've tried it out in 3 markets. They're still looking to see if that will work out. CSU held a big 70th birthday party for Dr. Temple Grandin this afternoon. About 250 people were given food, cake, beer. They were also given a special beer mug to drink, the limited edition light caramel cream ale called Temple's Grand Ale. The beer was created by Horse and Dragon in Fort Collins. You'll be able to get that at their tap room tomorrow and at several other local spots. Only about 30 kegs of that beer were made, so it's only available while supplies last. One of our favorite interviews we've done here on Next was with Temple Grandin. Kyle interviewed her when she was added to the National Women's Hall of Fame back in February. She talked about a ton of topics, including how she thinks differently than most people.
People have heard you discuss how your autism allows you to think in pictures and analyze things like that. Can other people learn to think the way you do? Is that possible?
Well, I'm an extreme visual thinker. Most other people don't think visually to the extent I do. When I first started, I thought everybody thought in pictures. Then when I did my book, Thinking in Pictures, and I started interviewing people about how they think, and then I realized that not everybody thought in pictures.
It's really a fascinating interview. If you want to watch the whole thing to learn more about Temple, it's on the Next YouTube page, youtube.com/Next on 9 News. Happy 70th birthday, Temple. There's the insane housing market in Denver, but did you know there's also a parking spot market?
This is a parking spot for you.
A wedding 400 feet above ground.
We just put on a big party out in the desert with all of our friends.
You know the groom. He made news for saving a life. Next. And welcome back. Back in January, we showed you a guy from Colorado named Mickey. He was interviewed all over the world after this video went viral. Mickey Wilson was skiing with a few friends. He saw one of them dangling from the ski lift with his backpack around his neck. Mickey started climbing on the cable and over to the chair where his friend was. He was able to use his knife to cut him down. Ski Patrol took his friend to the hospital, and his friend is doing just fine now. Now, fast forward almost 9 months, Mickey is still using his professional slacking skills. He got married in the middle of a canyon in Moab, Utah last weekend. He literally tied the knot. We're not making this up. He and his wife, whose name is Purple, made that colorful net there, and both slacklined to the middle of it where they got married.
Both my wife and I are professional slackliners that have been traveling around the world and doing slackline shows and competitions. And when I asked her to marry me, we both decided that we wanted to do it in a really special way that was unique, and special to us. Tim married us, and then we jumped through a hole in the net onto a rope swing that was about 200 feet long. Took a big swing through the canyon, literally taking the plunge.
All of their friends and family, about 100 people, just lined the edge of the canyon to watch the ceremony. There was a big jump through the net afterwards. They also let the guests try the rope swing themselves right after the ceremony. Mickey and his new wife, her name is Purple, left for Hawaii today for their honeymoon. They're using the plane tickets the Ellen Show gave them in January. He went on the show to talk about the rescue.
Jeremy, that story is amazing on so many levels, but what is also amazing is this time next month we could see our first snow of the season. So, wow, that was a fun story. I'm meteorologist Kathy Sabin, and it turned out to be a beautiful summer day. A little hazy, and those allergy sufferers, it's the weeds out there, ragweed and sage that are high. 93 degrees in Denver. Will be as warm tomorrow. Isolated gusty storms trying to hold together, but not doing a very good job, so all eyes on central Texas, where tropical storm Harvey offshore now will move back inland to make a third landfall. Right now, 51 inches of rain, and in that area, that is a record for a tropical system. Tomorrow in Colorado, a day similar to today with high pressure anchor here, limited moisture coming into our region, and so we'll go mostly sunny, temperatures back in the 90s with a southwest flow. Enough moisture that with heating of the day we put a couple of foothill storms in, so those hiking, biking need to be aware of lightning threat, but it's pretty quiet on our radar and futurecast for the next 24 hours. Nice week of travel for this upcoming holiday weekend. We'll see lows in the mid-50s like we are tonight. Temperatures tomorrow back in the low 90s. Best chance for thunderstorms will be Thursday, Jeremy. 20% chance of rain from storms, perhaps our coolest day, and then right into the 90s we go all the way through the holiday on Monday. And this is the time of year to get out and enjoy the sun, flowers, and the sunshine.
Yeah, it is. Still hot. Thanks, Kathy.
Okay.
This next story really speaks to the absurd cost of property in Denver. We found a parking spot in downtown up for sale. Yes, a parking spot. The listing price, $59,000. We just had to hear from the realtor on this one, so here's her pitch.
Welcome to the gorgeous Spot 100. As you can see, there is fabulous space here. We have high ceilings next to the attendant, 24-hour security attendant. We are, in fact, the lowest priced parking spot in the entire garage here. This spot is priced exclusively at $59,000 for building residents only. It's absolutely not ridiculous at all. My name is Kara Groulet, realtor with Keller Williams Realty Downtown Denver. It's a function of the marketplace and how our home values have risen so much. It's a little more stark when you take a look at concrete. But this is land here, and this is land in a very high demand area. The location, location, location. When you think about it as a long-term investment, however, you kind of have to take a look at really what's going in your pocket at the end of the day. Not only do you maybe pay the premium price, but you're also getting that increase in your asset year over year. You can make $250 a month on a $59,000 parking space. Real estate is one of the only ways that you can actually profit in some ways on your investment and get that extra little step up that many of us need here in the city of Denver. This is a fantastic buy, actually. Yeah, low maintenance, low energy bills, great neighbors. This is a parking spot for you.
Again, that spot is yours just for $59,000. That just happens to be about the average salary for someone living in Denver. Dog tags from the 1940s show up in a strange place, and now a family is looking for who they belong to. Remember the flat earthers, those guys who seriously believe the earth is flat? We have a rebuttal for you tonight, and don't worry, it won't take up too much time, I promise. That's next. Welcome back. A piece of family history scattered in a bucket of trash. Two teens in Parker were at work when they found something really interesting. and they turned to Steve Steger to help them try to find the owner.
The song makes the job sound so much more glamorous.
You find mostly dirt, but a lot of interesting stuff.
Working at the car wash. Yeah.
Once in a while, we come across some pretty cool things, like mostly just loose change and dirt and mostly hair ties.
This past weekend, 16-year-olds Colin Baker and Matthew Hill did find something interesting.
We found a dog tag in the canister of the vacuum.
That says Michael J. Mercurio, which is the husband.
And Elizabeth Mercurio, his wife.
It's kind of a piece of history.
This dog tag dates back to the 40s. A Google search reveals Michael Mercurio was a World War II veteran.
And you fought for our country, for our freedom.
Sadly, Matthew figured it out by reading his obituary. Michael Mercurio died in 2004. His final resting place, the same city listed on his dog tag, Belleville, Illinois. Yet his dog tag was resting here at a car wash off E470 in Parker, some 800 plus miles away. Colin and Matthew assume it got accidentally gobbled up by a vacuum.
It might be like the last thing that they have of his, and it's like just like a resemblance of who he was and what he did. I think it's really important to go back to the family.
A new mission, well beyond their duties.
Want to do the rest of these?
Yeah.
That makes a dirty job a little more glamorous. For Next, I'm Steve Steger.
Those kids are really smart. Matthew's mom has been all over the web, and she thinks she tracked down Michael Mercurio's son. She left him a message. She's hoping they don't think this is a scam. Maybe this story will make its way back to the family. A lot of you were riled up after we aired a segment last Monday about the flat earth movement. You know, the dudes who seriously believe the earth is flat. They agreed to take your questions as part of a Let's Be Clear segment. This is from Patrice. If the earth is flat, why hasn't anyone gone to the edge and taken a picture?
We're basically kept in the middle, and that's due to the Antarctic Treaty. In our model, not everybody agrees with this, but in our model, we're surrounded by Antarctica. It's not.
Okay, that was a really weird interview. We heard from a whole bunch of you who said, why waste our time talking about this, and you guys shouldn't have given these guys airtime. Some of you felt we should have had a counterpoint to their flat earth claim, so here it is with our science guy, Steve Spangler.
So is the earth round like a globe? Yes, it is. Okay.
All right, there's the rebuttal. Debating over the earth's shape is stupid since it's 2017 and not 1317. Who knows why people are flocking to this absurd belief, but we hope it got people talking about what drives such theories, maybe something about human psychology here. If you want to see this whole interview with the flat earthers, there's a link on 9news.com. It's a sign, okay, two signs that will likely confuse anyone who walks up to them, and your feedback, that's coming up next. It's a sign spotted by next viewer Allison Sawtell in Denver. This is near the intersection of Dakota Avenue and William Street. On the left, sidewalk closed, pedestrians cross over. Okay, wait a minute. On the right, sidewalk closed, pedestrians cross over. Well, that doesn't give anyone another option to walk down a sidewalk or William Street. So they can either walk down the street or go over a block either way. Anyways, if you have a sign, send it to us. Let us know. And one piece of viewer feedback I want to point out today. Great job filling in for Casey, Jeremy. Hope to see more of you. Mike and Brenda Patrick. Warning, I'm back again tomorrow. See you then.